What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, division rivals? This is Steven Hyder with Gate City Sports Channel. Sports Channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever it is you get around to watching this show. Hey, Gate City Sports Channel, and I'm your host, Steven Hyder. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, guys. Please consider hitting that subscribe button, guys. It keeps YouTubers motivated to keep pushing out content. Hey, to all my OG subscribers who've been down and you guys have been around promoting this channel forever, hey, I love you. I appreciate you. You can just hit that thumbs up button, guys. All right, today's topic. Guys, I'm not going to go deep today. Don't worry. I just wanted to get on here and make a video. There's definitely some things that have been going on in the Philadelphia Eagles circle. And I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and I wanted to talk about it. Look, the coaching staff keeps growing. And it's kind of interesting what's going on here. So if you guys haven't caught wind yet, the Philadelphia Eagles have brought back Marty Mornhinweg to be a kind of senior offensive assistant kind of role here. So now you got a lot of these upper titled, people, two senior offensive assistants, I think, pretty much how it's working out. You got a assistant head coach in Deuce Staley. You got, you know, guys like, Press Taylor, who happened to be the quarterback coach, but at the same time, the passing game coordinator. And then you get guys that we've brought in, like an Andrew Breiner, who's like a passing game analyst role, which is an interesting role. But I think the question that I kind of want to talk about today, guys, is there's a theme emerging here, and we have to ask ourselves, why do we have so many, upper level assistant guys, and why do we not invest that in positional coaches? I'm not blaming or saying one move is right and one move is wrong. I'm just saying those moves do tell us something. So let's speculate. Let's talk about what these moves might tell us about the Philadelphia Eagles and what's going on here. All right, y'all. Let's get to it.
This Ravens offense is legit, and I think that offensive coordinator Marty Mornhinweg deserves a lot of credit.
So, as the Eagles coaching carousel turns, guys, I made a video ways back when we made all these initial hires, and I kind of broke down what I thought each of their roles were going to be, and boy, does this carousel keep turning. Now, look, if we take this back to the end of season press conference, Doug Peterson was asked, hey, why don't you consider bringing in kind of an offensive, assistant, a quality control guy, a guy that's going to be free of positional coaching and is going to be there for more of guidance, advice, and to give a fresh perspective and eyes. And he said, yeah, we're open to everything. Little did we know we would be open to adding two now. Two guys filling that role and an analyst coming in to do that. So if you woke up and, I don't know, you've been out for like the last 48 hours and you haven't heard, the Philadelphia Eagles are bringing back a, long-term coach in this organization who's been here since, I want to say, around 2003, 2004, and then he coached all the way up to 2012 with us. They're bringing back Marty Mornhinweg. And it's an interesting thing because it does create kind of a strange dynamic of where do the fits lie. Still have no real clear answer on who is going to be the offense assistant who talks to the media on game week. We still don't know. Hey, look, it could be, Rich Scangarello, could be Marty Mornhinweg, could be the young kid Press Taylor. We really don't know. Could be Deuce Staley, the assistant head coach. A lot of titles being thrown around here, guys, in Philadelphia. With that said, I just want to talk for 1 second. I want to break down the way I think this is all going to line up. I think you have two offensive assistants, coaches, because, you got a guy who's going to be overseeing, in my belief, the passing offense, and a guy who's going to be overseeing the running offense. So the way I see it is, if we start with the passing side of things, you have Rich Scangarello, who will be coming in here, and he's going to be overseeing everything with the passing offense. So Rich Scangarello has a background as an offensive coordinator himself. It didn't end very well, but guys said that he was very unique and very creative when it came to designing plays, when it came to coaching guys and developing quarterbacks. He just wasn't the greatest play caller. Not a worry here in Philadelphia, because not only do we have Doug Peterson, but we just added another guy who's a pretty good play caller in his own right. So we got Rich Scangarello, who's supposed to be, from what I understand, also implementing the rolling of the pocket and the rolling of the quarterback. We're going to be probably using Wentz on a lot more rollouts this upcoming season. Doug Peterson even seemed to hint towards that being a real possibility.
He's going to be able to bring together the run division and the passing division, right? With a blend of formations and plays.
The other guy I want to talk about, when you talk about whose ideas, who's going to be overall responsible for coming up with those passing plays, assisting Doug Peterson in designing those plays, designing those, those reads for Carson Wentz, the progressions for Carson Wentz, maybe even helping design some of the routes and some of the concepts. Well, that's going to be the job of Press Taylor, who has now been elevated to the title of passing game coordinator. So he will definitely have a major role, and he will be stepping up in his influence over this offense.
In order for Press to grow, I've got to give him more as a coach. I got to put more on his plate.
Now, there's a third guy that has not been discussed a lot, and there's been a little more clarity that I can kind of help guide you guys with, and that's Andrew Breiner. He's been named the passing game analyst. Some of you might be saying, how's that different from the passing game coordinator? Well, as I understand the role of the analyst is to look at plays that are successful against zone, plays that are successful against, man concepts, plays that are successful in between certain downs and distances, right? Against certain blitz packages, that kind of thing. That's kind of the role that Andrew Breiner should be playing in the upcoming season. And that kind of explains the role of these passing game guys. Rich Scangarello kind of being that figurehead. Press Taylor really having the title. He's the guy who's going to be helping design the plays and design progressions for Wentz and design route trees probably. He's going to be kind of coming up with all that with Doug Peterson. And you got Andrew Breiner, who's going to be breaking down the analytics and the statistics on things. Now, when you flip it to the running game, some people have advocated within the Philadelphia community that maybe Doug Peterson kind of sent a backhand kind of comment towards Jeff Stoutland as he was discussing why he wanted to bring in Marty Mornhinweg. I don't see it that way. I mean, he made a comment basically that alluded to the fact that Marty Mornhinweg is a very good at designing running plays, and I guess in the right context, I could see why people might think that that's what he did to Jeff Stoutland, but I think Jeff Stoutland does a pretty good job of designing the running plays. With that said, the way I understand this new coaching staff, bringing in Marty Mornhinweg, he's essentially going to be over that running game. He is going to be the offensive consultant that will be over that. And then you got, a guy like Jeff Stoutland, who's your offensive line coach. So he's going to be coming up with the blocking schemes, and he's also going to be the guy who's going to be drawing up and designing those running plays. And of course, you can't forget the guy who's there coaching these running backs in the positional room, teaching them how to go through the holes correctly, how to use patience, how to use that explosiveness and that shiftiness, how to pick up a pass block, a rusher. You got to give credit where credit is due, and that goes to our assistant head coach, Deuce Staley. So I do think that we are starting to see Doug Peterson taking a really coaching by committee approach here. I think the question becomes, was it scheme where we faltered last year, or was it more on player development? I mean, the obvious answer being it's a little bit of both. But I do think that the scheme wasn't quite as big as a problem as the development of players was more than anything. Now, the one thing that can't be overlooked in this entire situation, in this entire conversation I'm coming up with, guys, is the fact that now you've brought in two former offensive coordinators. You got two long-term, position coaches on this team in Deuce Staley and Jeff Stoutland. And you got two young guys who are coming up through the league who are imaginatives in Press Taylor and now Andrew Breiner. So there's certainly a concerted effort at a different roundabout way of development. But with that said, you could have also added more positional coaches, assistant positional coaches. You could have taken that route, but we chose to go this route. And that leads me into the question of the day I want to ask you guys, which is, and I asked this to Philly Mike, so I'm going to flip it on you guys now. Why? Why? And I'm not saying that this is the right or it's the wrong approach. I think they're both approaches that could be taken, and we won't know the success rate until after the season. With that said, why? Why take this approach, guys? Why would you go through this approach in particular? Why go with more offensive, assistance, bring in a passing game analyst, do all these kind of weird maneuvers that do more with scheme than player development? Now, we did make some changes. You know, we got a new wide receiver coach, right? We got Andrew Breiner coming in, who can probably definitely jump down there and also help with receivers since he has experience coaching receivers. You know, we got a lot of guys surrounding that quarterback. Rich Scangarello. You got Marty Mornhinweg, who was the quarterback, by the way, in Green Bay when Doug Peterson was the backup quarterback there. So, you know, there's definitely a lot of guys here with a lot of experience coaching quarterbacks. And by the way, Andrew Breiner, who also, you know, I just said he coached wide receivers, he also coached quarterbacks. So you certainly got a lot of minds, along with Press Taylor, around Carson Wentz himself. But look, why do you think we got so many guys here on the quarterbacks, you know, that had that experience with quarterbacks? And then why not go more position coaches, guys, over offensive assistants? Let me know your thoughts on that, guys. All right, y'all. I'm going to jump off of here, man. These are just some thoughts that kind of ran through my mind as I was seeing this. I didn't want to completely ignore this situation, but, you know, I kind of wanted to get a feel for what I thought was going on. I'll give you one quote that Doug Peterson said that's really sticking out on my mind. This is what he said in relation to Marty Mornhinweg. He understands what my goal is and what my vision is for this offense. I'll leave you with that, guys. All right, y'all. Peace. I'm out of here. And yeah, how do we end these videos? We go EAGLES. All right, y'all. Let's go, Eagles.